Let's get everything else going. Okay. So there is Stream Beats. Let's get some music happening and restream chat. That's what I'm looking for. Listen now. Listen some lo-fi. Excuse me. Excuse me. Working on the space station and main space station environment areas. Control C. Let's post you. And on the tweeter, game art, concept art. Tweet and edit post. Get some of them hashtags. Sorry, I'm just getting everything else situated. And let's pop over to Twitch real fast because I just want to test to make sure that all that's working. So if I type test here, okay, it's popping up. Cool. Good to know. Sorry if I'm clearing my throat a lot. Right beforehand, water went down the wrong pipe, so. And I think that covers everything. So last time when I was working on this piece, there were some things that I realized when I was coming up with the spaceport kind of shape that I kind of don't like this piece that sticks out. I was thinking more maybe kind of these areas where the craft will kind of like park for docking. Or, you know, these can be smaller. Yeah, let's keep it. Why not? And let's just mess around with the silhouette a little bit. So overall, I was thinking like this hex shape, and I was planning out the buildings. There's some vertical elements to it too, because I kind of want this, like the power source, like the reactor, kind of this shape down there. And these little bits. And one last one back there, kind of deal. And I think it'd be cool to have like connector supports from the base going down to like the reactor, kind of like how power gets spread out. And this one, let's cut that out and place that there. Yeah, and then on these like main walkways, that'll be where all the living quarters are in some of the sections. So let's get layer, create perspective ruler. Let's go for 2 point. And where's that tool? I think it's this one right here. Oh no, it is this one. So let's maneuver. So the challenging part. This is a hex shape. So let's kind of go with there. It seems like this will be kicking around somewhere kind of like there. That feels a little a little forced. This kind of has a little more of a natural feel to it. Okay. So with this, I just want to start off with I'm just getting some lines in. So I'm just going to use these as guidelines, and I'm going to hand draw them overall. So let's unlock you, fade you down. And let's fade this guy down a lot more. So what I want to think about is kind of that hex shape. So maybe something like that. And it seems a little on the wide side. So this will probably shrink that down a little bit there. And that means that this guy gets squashed up some. I'm going to lower it down because I don't want it to tangent with that edge. think design-wise, not you. Oh, okay. So I had straight edges, the flats of the hexagon shapes. Going to the hallways. So there's a flat area here, flat, flat, and then the other three. Let's turn this back on. Actually, I want this taller. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'm just doing a looser sketch. Actually, let's just keep it loose. Looser sketch for the idea. And I'll go in and 3D model it. Just to get the shapes a little bit more rock solid. I don't know why I just don't do that much earlier. Well, actually, let's mess around in Blender a little bit with that. Now, I will preface, I'm not good with Blender yet. I'm working on it. And so let's get a review. Cube. Can I change the amount of sides this thing has? Let's take a look here. Blender, how to edit cylinder. How to change number of vertices in add object. There we go. How do I reduce cylinder faces? Press F6 after adding the mesh. To add your circle object in the mesh menu, you'll see the circle object. tool shelved. Is that under the edit? No, where are you? Tool shelf. How do I access said tool shelf? Custom properties, no. Layer properties, theme properties, output properties. Oh, is this it? No, let's. Okay, so let's look at Blender how to open tool shelf. Oh, what is this? Here we go. Oh, there we go. Tool. Active tool, options, workspace. If I can't get this soon, then I'll just switch over to drawing. Location, rotation, scale, dimensions. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to edit elements of the cylinder. How to edit cylinder radius, amount of faces, etc. Okay, just last operator menu is found at the bottom left. You need to click to expand it as it appears collapsed in the menu. Okay. So let's selecting and delete. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. So I want 6. See, what's unfortunate is it disappears after. Under edit, adjust last operation. Okay. I feel like I need that in the hot bar key. Okay. So with this, I don't need you visible right now. Okay, cool. And why are you transparent there? So with this, scale along the Z. Scale Z. Let's kind of zoom that out. And copy paste. And let's grab and move you along the Y. And scale you so you're tinier. And I don't know how to, like, I'm used to Maya and I'm trying to force myself to learn Blender, so hence this. Under the Y direction, and I think I had snapping, not an increment but along absolute grid. Grab Y, and there we go. Grab there. Now let's turn you off, and let's see if we can new collection. Move you guys down there. So let's copy and paste that collection. Will it let me? Or duplicate collection, and let us rotate along the Z axis, and I think I want it 60 degrees. There we go. And let's do that one more time. Duplicate collection. Rotate along Z. And 60 as well. There. Cube. I'm going to move the cube out of these collections, and delete you, and these will be, I'm just going to call them small rooms for now. Main body, and it's going to be the first hall. So grab along the Y and scale Shift Z plane. No, I want Shift Y plane. rotate you along Z. So let's create a new collection, and these will be halls. Yeah, let's move all these cubes over there. Okay. Next is more cubes. So grab along X. Scale, scale, Shift Y. Yeah, Shift Z plane, that's what I wanted. Let's grab you. And man, it's all, when you're used to like one software and trying to get accustomed to another. So grab along X. Rotate. Grab Z, move you down. And I haven't saved yet, so let's save. Save as. And let's go to Project Cosmic Repo, Spaceport. Model. edit. Oh, that's just that move. How can I? How can I adjust this light? Oh, there we go. Ooh, it's giving some nice soft shadows. Let's turn the shadows off for now. Hey, Max Magnus, how's it going? How's your week been? Oh. Thank you, Akar Terokecho, and I'm sorry for butchering your name. But thank you for the follow. I'm going to check something here. Okay, cool. I was just about to check to make sure if the Twitch chat was coming through or not. Yeah. So I'm going to seem a little slow modeling in Blender here because I'm used to Maya. So I'm using this time in order to familiarize myself with Blender. I thought that I need to do 10,000 other things with the rig before you even start. Yeah. If you don't have a rig and you need to rig it up first, oh, that's a whole lot on its own. I'm kind of not looking forward to that, but at the same time I am in a way too, because it's something that I'd be interested to see what's different versus Maya. And let's grab you going down the Z direction. Now I'm guessing I can't rotate all these guys at the same way. So let's deal with these ones that are on. Actually, I don't need to do that because I could just reduplicate these two once I have these two positioned nicely. Alright, so let's rotate along the x-axis. And minus 45? No, minus 45. That's a little steep. So let's say minus 30. How does that look? Yeah, that looks not bad. Scale. Well, it's scaling along. Why? Yeah, that'll kind of do it. And let's scale X. I want to squash that in a little bit. And there. And yeah, what I'm doing here is modeling the space station just to make my life a lot easier for the drawing side of it. So I'm just blocking it out, getting its shapes in, learning some Blender at the same time. So it's going to make it a lot easier for drawing all these hex shapes. And scale Z. Still want to scale you a little bit more. And grab Y. There we go. So that's kind of getting there. Yeah, Max Magnus, I'm going to be, I'm going to look for a rig, already pre-created rig for Blender, just in order to familiarize myself with animating. Because like the one thing that's interesting with 3D software is animating is like the easiest thing to start off doing, because you don't need to know how to do a lot. As long as you know how to move the rig and hit S, or well, like, you know, set your key, then you're kind of good to go for the bare bone basics. Hitting S, that's setting keys in Maya. Modeling is a lot more intensive. Same with rigging, is even more so. And when I get into rigging, I want to get into scripting as well, so I can script the rigging process, because I know I'm going to have to rig a couple of different models at some point, so it's going to make my life a lot easier. So let's rotate you along the Z 180 degrees. And let's slide you over to your new home. And it is not perfect, but oh, not that direction. That direction. It's not perfect, but it works. But yeah, I'm just tired of spending so much money on Maya when I'm not really selling much. I'm not making any money out of it in the long run. So I figure, hey, let's learn some Blender action. Let's have some fun and see where this takes me. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy you and slide you down and scale you out. Rain V2 3 for 2.9. I have a problem with display. It should be a good rig. What version do I have on right now? Hell. Isn't it normally under support? No, not support. Oh, 2.9. Okay. So, Rain, is that a free rig, or is that like your character? Oop. Rain V2 characters. Oh, that's cool. Oh, are these like all the different characters they have on here? Rain V2. Oh, she's free. Sweet. Where's the download? Download. I'm gonna keep that open for later. Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, you use After Effects for a lot of your stuff. Scale. And let's slide you up. And let's slide you up also. Alright, so let's save you. And yeah, this is as far as I really cared to take it. So edit mode, not edit mode. So let's get a nice angle here. Let's do something like this because of the light. Oh, actually, copy, grab, Y, slide you down. And let's grab and move you out of the way. Let's grab. And let's move along this plane. Let's get a nice angle with the light. I found these free lessons. There's a guy explaining game design. They also have on the channel animation and drawing. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have a subscription to ArtStation Pro, so I have access to the tutorials on there. And as one guy, he goes over some Blender basics for modeling, but it's not really basics because it doesn't cover how to edit simple elements like the cylinder, the basic cylinder shape. And it took me a little bit, if you weren't around, in order to find the adjust last operation and just edit that way. But I wish that there was like a way to go back and tweak it up. So I'm going to put this light right here, and let's create a second light. Did that second light get created? Yes. It got tossed into this collection. Yeah, I'm still getting used to like even some of the basic stuff, like what collections are. So let's grab you, and I want to toss you onto this side. But I want to tone you down. And give you kind of like a cooler tone, just to be able to pop some. There we go. No, I didn't mess it up. It was just, it's one of those things where, like in Maya, if you bring in a cylinder, unless you delete the history, but I wouldn't be surprised if Blender just deletes the history past the last operation. Like if I bring a cylinder in and I'm like, okay, I want to change it to like 6 sides. How's a quick way to do it? So it's just, part of it is just me getting accustomed to the software. And there are certain things that I'm used to with Maya. And actually, scale. Let's do. Yeah, that's fine. Just this. So save. And I don't need to do a fancy screenshot, so let's use a snipping tool. Boop. So I can draw right on top of this. Space station. And just making sure I save it before I close it down. And let's delete you and delete you. And oh, I could just file import image. Boom. If I ever need to do technical stuff, this is kind of what I like to do whenever I remember to do it. No, don't delete it. Lock it up. After fading it down some. Now it's nice to be able to edit the amount of edges around sometimes, and any other like history elements. It kind of like pops away pretty quick if you don't know what to look for, I've noticed. So this way I don't have to worry about the proportions. Okay. So going out of these spaces, are the docks. And let's see here. Let's get like a little bit of a bevel shape happening. And little windows, maybe like a big window at the end here. And let's get my reference material. Pure ref. There you are. I've accidentally turned off Firefox. I missed part of what you said. As I recall in my, you could just delete faces, add new ones. Yeah. There's in Maya, if you, so what it is like when you create the geometry, here I'll show you. It'll be quicker that way. When you create like a cylinder, you can adjust very quickly the numbers, and it took forever for me to just figure it out in Blender because the few tutorials that I tried looking for, they didn't cover that step at all. The idea of just, once Maya's done here, being able to go into inputs here and just changing the subdivision axes to however many you want or need. Because it's nice and quick this way. You even change like the subdivision height or even the caps. And so I was trying to like see if there was something like this kind of thing with editing very quick, simple shapes first before building up from there. And it's just me learning Blender. Like that was I think like the 4th time I've ever opened the software up. So storage, where are you? You reference. And images, normalize. Let's arrange you. And if you've never used PureRef before, it is super awesome. So I'm looking at some stuff from like Mass Effect and all that. Yeah, it's super handy. And that's the thing that I have to get over is knowing that some of the stuff might not be in Blender. But overall, like from what I've heard from a lot of people who've dabbled with a lot of different softwares, is Maya's pretty subpar when it comes to the modeling side, and I'm very accustomed to it. So we'll see how that changes as I get a better feeling for it. Okay, so this is a space station that's like a prison, or at least it was a prison. It's been abandoned and overrun by the prisoners. So the main character in the game that you play as, you have to show up and get an item from... You're here to collect something from the warden's office. And so the main like prison area is inside the middle chunk. So I'm kind of... You know what, let's just think big shapes right now. Keep it simple. I'll dive into all the extra fancy stuff later on, and the textures and all that kind of thing. But the cool thing about me already modeling it too, like even just like the basic blocks, is I can just use that when I model the station later on more in detail. But I'm going to model a couple of props just to feel comfortable with the basics of the tools, and then I'll build up from there. When I dive into characters, the big thing will be more or less retopology is one of my first things, and UV unwrapping, because I'm going to be using ZBrush anyways for the sculpting part. So, because ZBrush is fun. And I know Blender has sculpting in it, but I have a purchased copy of ZBrush. I'm going to make use out of it. I'm used to it. Though I will try out the sculpting at some point to see if it's better than if I find the tools are more solid than Mudbox, because we use Mudbox for the animation program I teach at. So I think we have some sort of deal since we use Maya with the whole like Autodesk package. Let's go break that into thirds. So, got any cool plans for the weekend? Do anything fun? Oh yeah, and happy Year of the Ox. Since that is also today. I recall that the buildings in space were shaped like twigs. It's because they attach them one by one. It may be an interesting idea to not attach it all in this phase. Yeah, well, I'm just kind of drawing the space station right now as like a whole. There are going to be parts where they're going to be like broken off or on the outside and or the inside in order to kind of like force the movement flow a little bit. Just in order to guide the player through to make use out of the space. It's kind of the idea. I already have written down kind of the flow for it. So the cool thing is, since I already know the direction I want the player to have to traverse, then I could just make those barricades and obstacles to coincide for that. While I'm celebrating the factory. Oof, sorry to hear about your phone. Yeah. Actually, I'll leave these the same. And I'm going to take a wild guess that you can't get your phone back or insurance or anything like that. So there. Ooh. So maybe there's like solar paneling up along these like edges. Ooh, radar dishes. Maybe like 3 of them. Yeah. So the cool thing is I finished the. Oh no! I find a comfort in malice. It was a glorious bonfire. Oh man. So maybe there are. These platforms here. Maybe like these spin around in order to help face like the nearest star to collect some energy. And maybe just like rows of windows just to get a good look out. And maybe that's what these beveled areas could be, is just windows, just to let more light in. But yeah, right now, just in that, coming up with some ideas and slowly build up from there. So maybe there's like some pipe work. More windows, cause sunlight. And since this is a prison space station, maybe there's like little gun turrets. For security systems. And maybe there's like more in like these areas. What are some cool stuff? Yeah, just even little cargo bin things. Yeah. Let's get some pipes. That's not accurate in that positioning. Yeah, maybe there's like this section right here on the bottom where it's just like this shape that just rotates around. and maybe there's like breaks in the sections. Maybe there's only like 2 pieces here in these middle parts, but there's 3 pieces in here. But yeah, like I'm just in that whole like let's play around, mess with some shapes. These will probably split into maybe 4. There's like these indented areas. Oh, this is starting to look a little more space station-esque. Something about how Pepe the Pig animators got 64 million. Oh, Peppa? Yeah, I didn't know that got that much. Oh, excuse me. Oh. But yeah, like getting a deal like that, it's tough because you need to. It's like a lot of it is right place, right time kind of deal. You need a IP idea that resonates to a lot of people that businesses really want. I'm not like I don't say it in a way to like discourage. Like it's just, reality, right? It's not impossible, that's for sure. But ask yourself, is that why you're creating? Okay, so I'm kind of happy with how this is turning out so far. I'm gonna walk away from that and get back to this entrance space. Let's put you side by side. Actually, before I put that side by side or do anything, dock it in another window. So let's shrink this down a touch. I mean, how hard can it be to create another show of that quality of drawing? It's not that it's a difficult style, it's just it's a strong design, and if you don't understand solid design, then kind of a little bit blind of what it is. So let's take a look at some like nebula. I'll just BG. Cool thing is I already spent a little bit of time with lighting. And let's go polyline. Owner of South Park and Rick and Morty. Yeah, but like with both of those, it's very, very strong story. That's why, like, I personally love both of those, South Park and Rick and Morty. Like, Dan Harmon is a really great story writer. So when it comes to even the simple kind of designs, if you don't have a good story, the story is what saves it. You can have like a really ugly looking style, but if it's a good story, people are gonna be blind to that style. But a bad style is not, like, even a good style is not going to save a bad story. So if you focus more on screenwriting, and story structure and all that, then who cares on like the drawing? Let's look at some warm lights. So it's going to be hitting the station like my body right there. CGS Live, game design. Oh, thanks. I shall check them out later. Yeah, I'm always down for learning how other people like to tackle the stuff that I'm intrigued in. Because you never know like what interesting little tidbits you can pick up from them. Yeah. Always be a student. You'll be open to some pretty interesting ideas. Yeah, because like right now I'm taking, I have a handful of Udemy learning game development and programming in Unity with C# and all that. And I just finished the 3D one, which was a lot of fun. And so I feel pretty confident enough to get started on doing the programming part for this game project. So I'm actually looking forward to diving into that later this weekend. Tomorrow I have a D&D game to prepare for that I DM. And then hopefully Monday I won't be as like burnt out, tired as I was this past week. And I'll get to streaming again on Mondays too. Yeah, just that one's fine. Crank up the brightness a little bit because I want these to like be reflective. And even though there's no atmosphere, I'm going to add in a little bit of atmospheric perspective just to give it some nice like push with the elements that are further away. And I want that up above. Let's grab you. I haven't coded in years. I'm afraid of 10,000 packages that are associated with programming today. It's one of those, like, when you understand, like, basics of coding, like even just the idea of how to set up variables, methods, classes, arrays, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the other software languages, they're all very similar and make use out of it. Like the nice thing is with Unity, it's a C#, which is pretty simple in its grammar, so to speak. And you know what? Let's merge that all together. So there is a space station. In space. And let's add a nice little color onto it. So let's get like some navy blue. Actually, let's night sky it. Let's fade that down. So overall, I'm kind of all right with that. And Rick and Morty, family members, Simpsons, the same. Oh yeah. Family's a big thing. Because it's not only just family, but like dysfunctional family. Because the dysfunctional family, you're kind of like still have that concept of, oh, I gotta stick around because they're family. You know, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family kind of vibe. And because even like Family Guy, American Dad, like it's very frequently used. Because the other thing is, it's very relatable. You know, everybody has some element of family. Let's tone you down a bunch just so I can see you for the time being. So we have A right there. That's the entrance docking bay. Actually, I won't bother with that for now. So let's delete you. Delete. And so we have our space station. So let's save that. I'm going to put this on to my other monitor. You know what? Let's toss it up in the corner here. Yeah, so this little bit right here is in this section. This section, camera looking down that way. It's kind of the vibe that I have in here with this piece. And because of the changes that I've made, so this is actually going to like go up and get some height in there, maybe just like a little bit. And the smaller hexagonal shapes, they could be kind of like multi-tiered. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive in to some values, because I want to like push and pull some forms a little bit again. It's been a while since I've dealt with this, so I'm kind of like this one and this one. These are all like very, very loose. So I want to start getting more of that feel happening here. So let's go with a bit darker for the walls. Let's make the floor dark. You know what? No, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm not big on try like that. Oh, let's do the line work. So at the end of last week when I was doing this drawing, I ended up expanding the canvas size a lot, so I can dive in and get to some smaller like detailing elements. And I need the main character. This hand's super big, so let's shrink that down. And I've been on the wrong path with my stories, even in foster homes for measure. Oh yeah, 100%. Do I have those books here? I might have brought them upstairs. Oh yeah, but like I showed some of those like story writing books that are helpful. Yeah, I got them upstairs somewhere else. But yeah, there's a couple of like great books out there. Because like you could even look at some of the old great stuff. Like take a look at a lot of Shakespeare's works. It's family. Because it gives it. The one thing you want to do as early as possible is have your audience relate to the main character or the scenario or what have you, because then it's gonna like they're gonna attach to the story a lot easier and quicker. So if she's standing up straight, she's gonna be like kind of this tall. So that would make her kind of yay. Okay, so Reggie is the right size there. I'm just cleaning up my other monitor. It's getting a little cluttered. I can close you. Don't save. I don't need reference for the space station anymore. So right now I'm looking at Reggie here. Ooh, actually that's what I can do. Instead of, I can change you. So that, and at the same time, oh, not you there. There. At the same time, let's export this puppy out. Export single layer JPEG. Yeah, sure. And 50%. So I don't even need that open here anymore. But hey, it's, you know, it's learning and realizing certain elements that you can start throwing into your stories or considering. There we go. You know, let's don't necessarily need the menu stuff visible. There. How we get artwork. Fill your eye hole with artwork. And I'll get around to posting this up on there at some point. So I just wanted her up for now because she is important. So that's Maya. And let's create a group folder. Roughs version 1. So what I'm going to do, I have perspective ruler up, right? All right, so let's delete this. And I'm just getting the grid in here just so I can use it and not feel confined. I don't have to like constantly flip to lock and unlock. There we go. So it's either that or horizontal or vertical. Yeah, let's unlock you. Oops. And let's delete you. Perspective. Cool. Okay, let's get back to this. All right. I'm rewriting 10 different of my stories in my head right now. Empathy and fear for characters is much greater. Yeah, I would just say stick with like your favorite. Stick with either like your favorite one or a smaller, simpler one, so that when you like complete it, you're gonna feel better about it and really get it done. There's more to it about finishing a project, even if it's not 100% how you want it, because there's a lot more in the whole fact of completion, and you're taken a lot more seriously by a lot of like the public and industry and all that kind of stuff too for completing projects instead. And that was one thing that I wish I stuck in more with when I was doing like some comic stuff, or even just like diving into doing game development much earlier. Because I do enjoy creating these kind of like ideas. So there's going to be some trim stuff. And there's some thickness to that. Because the other thing that's great about finishing the project too, before moving on to the next one, it's a lot of trial and error, and you're going to learn a lot from the process. And you're going to get better anyways. You're going to hate yourself, like hate your stuff down the road. Like I always love Jake Parker's finished not perfect videos. So if you've never seen it, look up Jake Parker finished not perfect. And like I show it to the animation students every single semester. Actually, I should probably show it soon. Yo, how's this project come along? It's come along slow, but all right. Like earlier, I got the spaceport. Like I did this sketch after doing a quick build in Blender, just for like the basic shapes. And so it all came from like some silhouettes, like this and this kind of shape. And as I started drawing it from here, I was like, I'm gonna just, since I want to use Blender to transition into that, I did a quick block model of this in Blender and brought it in here because, well, trying to figure out all the perspective views of this is just a pain in the butt with hexagons. It's not like boxy in that shape. So now I'm going back into this piece that I started last week. I upped the resolution of the image, so now I'm just going in and finding those areas that I want to like start sketching and getting more information in here. So this is going to be more like my tightened rough kind of vibe. And like I'm shooting for it where it should be kind of enough where I can just like clean line. Like it should be like my rough clean kind of deal. So, but yeah, it's coming along, and that's why I have the spaceport image off on the side. I don't know if, did you see, where's that drawing? Do I still have it open? Yeah. Did you get to see this, Thomas? I don't think I posted on Instagram yet. I might have. I haven't posted much artwork on Instagram as often as I used to. Well, mind you, I've been busy with other things also. Yeah, no. Okay, so I haven't posted this on Instagram yet. But yeah, it's coming along. It's a lot of fun. And I can close Maya down. I don't need you open. How's your project coming along? With whatever you're working on? Thanks. Yeah, it was the overall idea with the space station is just hexagons, kind of. Yeah, that's the main character of the game that I'm thinking of for this. I might simplify the style a little, and I just want to draw her a little bit more just to feel her out. But yeah, this will be the main character that you get to play around with, and she'll have a sword and a pistol. The idea is kind of like a Call of Duty Zombies or Gears of War Horde mode, or if you played like the multiplayer for Mass Effect, where it's waves of enemies. But it's not only just waves of enemies, but you have to traverse through in the space station to reach a goal and then escape after. So it's like combining those and some puzzle solving elements and some story elements too. So it's not just combat. It's I want like some element of story within it. And so when you and it slowly build up. So you first encounter like the Reggies, where they're ranged damage dealers, and I'm going to up Eve's design, so she'll be kind of like a melee combat droid. So there'll be a mix of like just all robots at the very beginning, because they're all like the security droids of this place, a melee and a range. And then there are these grunt kind of characters, and I actually went searching around it for my old sketches. It's underneath my laptop here. Ugh. So, mind you, this is like old sketch. Let's see. So, I was kind of thinking something like this for them. And they'll have like a mix of the two, like some range and some melee elements. And then when you beat like the mini boss, he becomes part of the waves. And when you beat the final boss, he becomes part of the waves, because you still have like the escape after. Yeah, like the horde mode was nice, but like it gets boring so fast, right? Because it's monotonous. Like I loved playing multiplayer horde mode with friends for. Yeah, well, like those guys are like about shoulder height, and it's like when I designed Levy originally, like this is kind of like the Levy game, but I wanted to change it to someone else. But Levy, I liked her design, that I built a story around it, and then I was like, let's make it this game. And that's kind of what I'm using with Maya here is the game side of it. And that's where like I took Eve, Reggie, the Wild Beast. So the Wild Beast is like the mini boss. So I'll be the models that I've done already in Maya, I'm going to export as OBJ files and bring them into Blender and update them a little bit in Blender. Well, ZBrush also for sculpting side. But I'm going to use Blender in order to get more accustomed to it, because I want to like stylize them a little and all to fit into this narrative thing. So right now I'm just dealing with some concept pieces in order to kind of have a visual as I'm filling out the game design document and getting this nice like eye in here. And since this is like the very first area that you're going to encounter, Because like I'm sure you remember that one game animation assignment for 3D animation class where I was showing like that corridor hallway. This was like the original design of it. Because like I had, where are you? Yeah, here we go. So here's kind of like the older like thumbnails with Sharpies. Well, like more bigger than thumbnails. I had smaller versions first. But these are like the older sketches. Here are like some hallways. And some ideas for like the boss room or the mini boss room and some other spaces. And I did these while I was at Anime North one year promoting the program with James. I was just like sketching like, let's figure out some of these things. And so I'm just updating the designs, getting more of the feel that I want. Since I'm not sitting at a table at a convention, I can actually go and search reference easily and get that feel a little bit more of what I want out of this. So that's the idea. Because I want to make the first game that I make, like programming and all, to be not super intensive and like doable. That's why I shifted away from the previous idea that I started when I started streaming again, which I will go back to as the next game project. Probably, it's definitely going to be in the works because I like the idea. I'm going to be using Unity. I've been taking some... I was playing around with Unreal, taking some lessons on there. And I figured I was doing like a little bit of research at the same time on what would probably be a good... Because like I did some research in the past between Unity and Unreal, and I liked Unreal Engine a lot more just because it was so easy to make things look good. And they have an easier, robust shader system. But when I was diving into like the programming and all that, I was I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of getting a feel for this. And then as I was doing research, it was kind of like Unreal is more for like bigger teams, while Unity is nice for smaller teams and indie developers. And so I figured, okay, let's take a look at Unity for a little bit and try it out. And since I took this online workshop, it was like 37 hours of lectures or something like that. It was awesome. And getting to dive into the C# programming and everything, I'm at least like right now I'm at a point where I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Like not to the point where I could just like go to a game jam and just like program without having to like look at reference or just only look at some. I would need to look at a lot. But at least I feel confident in order to start and not just like open it up and go, how do I program for this? So that's it's a nice feeling for that at the very least. And that's why I want to simplify the designs, because I want to be able to get all that done. I'm thinking about looking for an internship in animation. There's a lot of internships out there. It's just a matter of what is available For you, what are your specifics? Are you looking for game animation or TV and film? That kind of stuff. So even though there's the wonderful pandemic element that's upon us right now, there are still internship opportunities. Like there's some in Canada, there's a bunch in the States, especially if you're like in LA area or whatever. Most are paying. But it's still like something to apply for and deal with, so because I know like Ubisoft, they have a lot going on there. Some TV studios, they're usually don't have as many positions. But hey, it's one of those like just check it out, see what's out there. Actually, it'd be probably wider at the base. And maybe this one's like up here. Just to get some variety in shapes here. How's your project come along, Thomas? Because you have something on the go right now, right? Have you been playing any D&D lately over Discord or something, or did you guys stop? Oh, we're still playing. I actually have to prep for my game tomorrow that I DM. That one is it's still going. It's been going for over a year now. It hit the 1 year mark in early November, and so the past few games, the players have been trying to figure out what connects them, because they kind of just like appeared into space. I did something different for the beginning than like you all meet at a bar and blah 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 blah. So they're trying to figure out like what ties them all together. They're going to this one capital city in order to check out this library there, and along the way they're taking a boat ride now down this river, and it's a 24-day like trip, going and visiting a couple of towns that are along the way, because they paid for a ship to take them, and it does trips back and forth, and it basically ships goods to various places. And they just hit a point where there is something going on with the elements of water, and like getting a vibe that this lesser water spirit is in trouble, and it's causing this like kind of chaos there. So they rescued this one creature that's from the water spirit's like temple, and as they're making their way, they found this town that's like as if a tsunami came and hit them, but it's like a town that's on the side of just like a big river, mind you. And they just arrived at that town, so tomorrow they're going to be diving into that, and they're trying to figure out whether to go to this like feeling that they're getting about where the water spirit might be, or go to her temple first, because there's this like chaotic creature there. So it's pretty interesting, and so tomorrow should be pretty cool. Oh yeah, Serbia. Yeah, I don't know much out there that's available. So hopefully you can find something though. I just did something for a place in BC and working like nuts, so... Oh, yeah. Heavy role playing. It's a lot of fun. There's been a lot of role playing on the boat ride. And there are a lot of game sessions where me as DM, I just kind of like start setting the stage, and then some of the players start interacting with each other, and I just sit back, and like half the game is gone just from them interacting, and I'm just making notes of, okay, this is like some new information that they revealed about their character, and what can I do with it, or get an idea of like their state of mind, or if there's an NPC that's in the area that's like listening to them, how would they react? Like, it's so good. It's a lot of fun. Oh, did you do like a studio test for a place in BC? If so, good luck. Like, keep at it, because I've been seeing a lot of improvement with your stuff that you've been posting on Instagram. Oh, for sure. Yeah, crazy bitter. Yeah. So tomorrow will be interesting because they just arrived at this like water destroyed town that's just in pieces, just pushed in and flooded. And what's cool is like after the year, they're starting to get some of the pieces of information that describes like why they are kind of like chosen and together and stuck on and what have you. But yeah, if you end up getting a job anywhere, just, like, keep me in the loop, dude. Like, I'm cheering for you on the sideline. 100%. Sorry to hear that, Max. There are like some places that do offer internships for people out of country. It's a little difficult too, but there are some because they have some funding to support that. But it's going to be a challenge for sure, but not impossible. Excuse me. Right on. Okay, she stands that tall. Yeah, that desk is a little short. Should be like this tall. Hey, Marina. It's going all right? Yourself? Yeah, I'm just getting like a little bit of progress on this thing. Starting to add in like some details in here, not a whole lot. I got this space station design like drawn up earlier. So yeah, long weekend for sure. I have D&D tomorrow, and also my weekly make pizza on Saturday. Take it easy, man. Have a good weekend. Chill, relax, Thomas. Have fun. Thanks for swinging by and hanging out for the time you have. And I'll see you soon, for sure. And fingers crossed for that studio test and how that went. So. But yeah, this weekend, the other thing I plan on doing is getting some writing done on the game design document for this. Get some more of that planning in, and even I'm starting to do the coding now too. So the first thing I'm working on is just with like a simple little boxy shape, get the character, the player movement and camera to go work how I want, and then slowly build up from there. So that is the plan. And maybe start the next Udemy learning Unity lessons. Just so I don't get rusty with the concepts that I'm still learning. Oh yeah, definitely more than bounce the ball. You want to showcase as much as you can. The biggest thing is the principles of animation. So how well do you handle the principles? How well do you handle acting and movement? So getting a walk cycle in there, an acting piece with some dialogue, because you're going to be needing to do that kind of stuff on the job anyways. So but it's pretty much just do the best you can, because that's what they're going to expect of you. And if you have trouble hitting the mark, then really, especially if you're coming from another country, you have to like bring your A game to it, because there's a lot of competition, and not to like deter you, but it's a little more challenging for the start. The first job is always the toughest one. And you can even look at the companies that have internship programs that are geared towards specific individuals, like from out of town or what have you, because some places do have that. Like, for example, when I was speaking with some representatives from Disney at a convention, they were telling me that they have a specific set of spots that are devoted to international, and even out of the international, some that are devoted just for Canadians. Because I'm up in Canada, so that was interesting to hear and to be able to pass on to the students that I teach. But yeah, competition is fierce. That's going to be the one big challenge is how do you handle getting through that. Like, they're not going to expect Disney level quality from you, so don't, like, no studio's going to consider that. But you need to definitely, the first thing is the principles. Really hone in on that. So if you struggle with any of the principles at all, then do, like, still submit, even like right now, but make time to refine it. And if that's what you want to get it into is animation, then just animate a lot. Really get to be amazing at it, and hone in on it. Yeah, 100%. So if you want to get in as an animator, then you, like, in honesty, you should do 11-second club. Because even if you don't get the top spot for that notoriety, you're still getting something done on the site and getting to be part of that community, and your name will get out there a little bit easier. It's networking, but networking in the way of, like, you're making friends. Like, this is networking in a way, like just us chatting and hanging out and getting to know each other kind of deal. So, Marina, big plans for the long weekend? Actually, I don't like this here. So I'm going to nudge it more. So I want its divider there, and in this piece, more over here, I think. Sleep in. Yeah, but what's sleeping into you? Because, like, you already sleep till, like, crazy late into the day. Or was that just school? Because it was school. Are you going to work on your game at all? Your game project? I get up all right nowadays. Well, that's good. Mind you, like, rest and relax first and foremost, right? But it means I get less hours of sleep because my sleep schedule is just non existent. So on weekends, yeah. Don't worry. In time, you'll get more time for sleep. You'll figure it out. Actually, I'm going to leave that in for now. Oh, you're not going to be banned from the site for not hitting a certain quality level. The only way that you'll be banned from the site is if you have like a bad attitude, if you're an ass towards people. So really, just do it, give it a shot. One thing that they always recommend is while you're working on it throughout the month, post online. Around 3 hours of sleep for 5 days on average is. Oh, why are you running? Why are you getting so little sleep? Like, I get bouts of insomnia, but thankfully not that bad. There's only like one production that I was like that sleep deprived, but I was a team lead. And, you know, those were dark days. Never again. Never again. Sleep is for the weak. Yeah, like, for me, the one thing that I find helps out with it is, like, my brain just goes berserk of, like, you need to remember this and this, and this is a cool idea, and blah, blah, blah. So I have, like, a sketchbook beside my bed and a notebook, so I can just, like, write that stuff down, so my brain doesn't have to go, like, don't forget it. I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over again, just so you remember it for the morning. And that's helped me a lot. Slowly coming together. Let's deal with these ceiling signs. I used to take meds for it, but then the prescription ran out. Yeah. Like, the one thing I know I have to watch out for too is caffeine kicks in my system for a longer period of time. So any drinks that are either caffeinated or have like ginseng or something that's similar, like speed or what have you, that like gets the body going, I have to stop that much earlier in the day. The one thing you could try doing too is if you don't do a lot of exercise, start doing some exercise like during the day where you can find some time, just in order to like burn through a lot of the energy to tire out your body quicker. Something else you can try to is like before where you feel like you should be going to bed, just do something like super boring and repetitive, just to like have your brain just kind of like settle. And so like if you're playing any games where there's like a lot of grinding involved for materials for crafting or levels or what have you, just do a lot of that. Like, you know, Bloodborne, just for like a lot of blood echoes, just go to like a lower level area and just do some boring stuff just in order to tire your brain out. There's ideas. Oh man, you should do a little comic about that. That is hilarious. Oh, so good. do like a little storyboard or something. Oh, that's funny. It's like, the reason why I'm laughing is because I just pictured the whole entire interaction in my head. It wasn't just like reading it. It was just like in my head, just seeing you, just like imagining you just like tired, dragging your feet, arms just down. You're just like slumped over, and like just slowly work your way to the fridge. And like the moment your hand touches the fridge door, it's like great exercise. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Max, like, don't stress out about whether you can do it now or not. Like, even if you struggle now with the actual like animating and all that, just keep it up, because it's a skill. Act it out a lot. Record yourself acting it out so you can see how your body is moving. Jason Ryan has a couple of cool videos showing that on YouTube, I believe. Because he teaches, or he used to teach at iAnimate or Anim School. So let's see here. If I go to YouTube, yeah, like if you just YouTube search Jason Ryan animation, there's a lot of like really interesting stuff. Like if it's 3D animation, just take a look at like what he's done here with his lip sync tutorial that he posted online. And even though he uses it in Maya, it's the same skills for 2D animation, whether traditional or digital, or even Blender or what have you. So, but yeah, there's like a lot of cool stuff. Like Jason Ryan's like lots of great tips. Well, it is midnight where I am at, and I'm thinking of shutting it down for the night. So, getting some progress in there. And I'll push and pull the shapes a little bit as I move forward. But Monday I should be back. I don't think I'll be as like drained as I was last week. Last week is just because I poured everything on Sunday for finishing that this online workshop that I was in the middle of, or near the end of. And so Monday I'll get back to working on this. It was fun taking a moment in order to do the space station and feel that out. And I'm liking the progress that this is coming along. And then from here, I'll tighten up the shapes. I'll do like another pass after and kind of like stylize it a little bit in order to kind of get those forms how I want. I might even balance into the character model sheet as well, just in order to just really solidify her design. But yeah, I want to make sure like the place feels like it's been tossed about and all that. So, well, thank you very much for coming to hang out in the stream. Take it easy. Good luck, Max, on the animation. And good luck, Marina, on the sleep. Enjoy. Have a good night. Did you use Papagayo for lip sync? No. What's Papagayo? Oh, some sort of... Oh God, no. No, it's just practice. It's something that you learn at college. There's specific phoneme shapes, like your mouth goes to make certain sounds. And the other thing too that helps out a lot is just a mirror. Like that's why I have like this desktop mirror. Well, like it's a makeup mirror. But I used to use just like a locker mirror when I was working at studios for like the first little while. And that way you can do the dialogue, just say it, and look at how your mouth shapes move and transition for one sound to the next. And you just apply that. And with practice, you kind of get a feel for it. So, but yeah, I don't use any software like Papagayo or whatever. Because most of the time, those softwares, they're kind of like iffy here and there, or it just takes just as long, and or it's very bland. So, but take it easy, Max. Good luck on animating, and I'll see you all on Monday.